Hi everybody, Linda Carroll here from my studio, Gatherer of Great Things, and today is Waste Not Wednesday, and we're going to work with junk mail, continue to work with junk mail and things that would normally just be thrown away, tags. I have here some cigar bands, all kinds of fun stuff that I've collected and taken apart. Thanks for joining me today. If this is your first time here, please take a little bit of time and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you like what I am doing, and share, and please comment. I would really appreciate it, and it really does make a difference to YouTube and their determination about how the video will be promoted. So please take a little bit of time to do that. Anyway, let's get back to the collage. I have collected some junk, and I've done it by color, thinking about color. This one is basically red and gold, and I do have a little bit of pastel in this piece and in this piece as well, that I think would go really well with the red and the gold. And then I have this pile. And this pile is mostly greens and blues from catalogs and envelopes. And this piece would also work with this particular pile of goodies. And then I have my black and white pieces that I used in last week's collage, and I think that this stuff will work just as well in this week's collage. So I have 3 different color palettes here that I can work with. I can mix them together, I can keep them separate, I can pretty much do whatever I want to do with them, because today we're basically going to be tearing and gluing and layering. And we're going to try and do something called DeCollage, which means we're going to layer papers onto a substrate. And this is a little canvas board that I got at Dollar Tree. And we're going to make something, imagine if you're walking down the street, probably in a city, and there have been billboards, when they used to have the billboards that they glue one over top of another, that the images have been peeled away, and you have layers of history of those billboards. Also, advertising posters where they've been glued or stapled up onto a pole or a wall or a fence. You'll have that same effect. So what I'm going to do is just start layering material, and let's see what happens. I'm just going to play today, because I feel like that's the mood I'm in. I have some big letters that I've cut out of catalogs, and I don't know where else I got these things. Some junk mail, I'm sure. So I have my letters here, and I have my piles of papers in different colors. You can use either a Mod Podge, or you can use a glue stick. I'm going to use this matte collage medium. You can use matte medium. You can use, let's see, what else you could use? Gel medium. You could use Mod Podge. Whatever it is that you want to use that will glue your pieces of paper down on your substrate. So I'm not going to think a whole lot about this. As I'm doing it, I am going to tear, and I'm not going to cut anything on this particular collage. I'm going to tear. And you'll notice if I'm tearing towards me, I get this white border on the page from underneath. That's okay, because that will stand out when we start decollaging or decollaging the pages above it. So I'm not worried. My brush is a little bit dirty, but that's okay. So I'm just going to start gluing ripped papers, and I'm using a lot of glue onto my board. Now you might want to think about things like balance, juxtaposing colors beside one another, and let's see, I think I want some yellow in here. And I'm just tearing. And one thing that's really, I think, fun about this is that you can't really control this kind of a tear. So, you know, each piece that you're putting down is going to be kind of a surprise. So, and I don't want any cut edges in this. I just want to have fun tearing and gluing. You know, doing this kind of collage kind of honors the way advertising used to be done on the billboards, and also honors the history, our history in our cultures, as far as, you know, we have a lot of times kind of a throwaway culture, and also things are built on top of each other. But there are remnants of the previous culture left underneath. Let's see what else I have here. I'm going to add a little bit of this red. And, you know, looking at the textures that you're working with is important too. You want to have a variety of textures and just see how they look together. And also, what I like about doing work like this is with every piece you put down, the artwork changes. It doesn't stay the same. So we have this ever-changing little world that we're creating. And if there's one thing that's for certain, is change. Things will always be changing, We're adapting to change always. And I'm going to even use these little tiny pieces in here. And I'm going to use some of the type. Also, let's see what else we've got. I've got this first class special delivery. I think it belongs down here. And I'm just building up layers. This is a label off of, I think, some kind of drink. This is really colorful. Now, this is a little bit thicker than most of the other boards I'm using, but that's okay because the top should tear off really well. Just need a lot of glue under it. Stamps are hiding under here. Corner does not want to stay stuck down. And this is a great envelope. Look at all the colors on here. Okay, I think I have enough layers on here. If I don't, I'll just add more when I start ripping them apart. But just let it dry and until your whatever you used is dry. If you use glue stick, you should be able to do this next step really right away. But I'm going to dry mine with my heat gun, and I'll be right back. Okay, the next thing you want to do is grunge this up some. And you can use anything that you want. You can use crayon, you can use inks, you can use pens, you can use stencils, you can use sprays, whatever your heart desires. So I have some spray stains that I'm just gonna kind of hit this with lightly. And I'm doing is grunging it up, making it look older than it is, making it look really aged, let's say. I'll pick up the extra of that. On here. Okay. I really should have something under this too. That'll help a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. Okay, and then I have some stains that are like daubers. And if you go to the Dollar Tree, you can get like bingo daubers. And the harder you hit it, the better it splashes. So I'm gonna do a little bit more of that because I like it. This one is kind of dry. Well, I guess I'm not in love with that color. Let's see what else I got over here. This one's called Peeled Paint. Yeah. Okay, I like that. And I know that one thing I would see if this was really out on the street would be some graffiti. And I don't really know any graffiti. So I have these brush markers. That's pretty bright pink. And you might also want to use some crayons. Okay. I think I've grunged that up quite a bit. We can go back and forth and work on this and grunge more as we go along. But I'm just going to hit this with the dryer real quick. All right. I think I'm sufficiently grunged for now. And the next step we want to do is start decollaging or decollaging this page, this collage, and you can do this in a couple of different ways. And let's see what'll work on here. It depends on what kind of glue you've used, but you can take tape and start ripping. And you want those ripped edges. That's what you're looking for. And you want to start on the edge of the paper. Now, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how many layers you're going to rip up. You don't know if... That was a good one. And at this point, too, you probably want to start taking pictures of what it is that you are creating. So I'm going to work with this a little bit more, and then I'm going to come back in and start re-layering. One thing I'm noticing, since I used kind of a plastic-based glue, is that the paper is coming up kind of like plastic. But that's okay. Another thing you can do is take a X-Acto or an edge of a scissor and pick up and start peeling up from that. Now there are some areas here that I really like, and I don't want to pick up too much. Like right in here, I really like the grunge, and then I have a little bit of type still showing through here and here too. So I don't really want to do anything with this area right here, so I'm going to kind of stay away from this. There are other areas that I'm not real thrilled with, like I wasn't real happy with this, and I'm not real happy with this either. So I'm going to work in here and see what I can come up with. Oh wow. I like the way that turned out underneath there. Okay, now my next next step, I have a fingernail file, and I'm just going to go in and start getting rid of these really rough edges. Now, I might go in and dry this first because you really want it really dry when you start here. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, you want to go in with your fingernail file and get rid of these edges that are sticking up. And you'll probably take off more of your image, but that's okay because we're going to go back in and work on top of this again. So you just want to get it kind of smooth is what you're doing. Here I almost got a transfer of an image. That is pretty much coming off, so. And you want to get it as smooth as you can. It won't be super smooth because some of these edges are kind of thick, but and just let happen, you know, whatever happens happens. Like, I didn't think I was going to get down to this layer, but I really like the way it's looking, you know. And be mindful about this. Look at what's happening as you're taking off layers and what's being revealed below. You know, you need some, this isn't just some kind of intuitive process, although part of it may be. You really want to look and see what you're uncovering and how it's being uncovered. Now I'm going, you know, if I went too far on this one, that's okay. I'm going to go back in and work over it again. And what is going to be left here is the texture. So I'm okay with that, you know, even though I may have liked what was there, it's okay. It's just paper. And paper that was going to be thrown away at that. What are you going to discover as you're uncovering these layers? What is going to be there? What's going to be revealed? What beauty is under there? Because, you know, you couldn't paint this. This is the only way that these images can be seen, is by this process. And that's why I said, if you have a camera or a phone, take pictures at different stages, you know, because you might want to remember. You might capture something that then you can download and say, that this was done, I did that. But then I went further and created this. So gets a little messy. All right. I didn't want to tear that up, but I didn't have a choice. Okay. You know, and there's some great satisfaction out of doing this. I don't know if you've ever been sunburned, and this sounds kind of gross, but there's great satisfaction in peeling off the skin, you know, that has been burned. And, you know, kind of this is the same thing. Don't tell anybody I said that. Okay. Wow, look at that. There's no way I could paint that. No way at all. I couldn't get those textures. You know, it's kind of like being an archaeologist. And gradually, you know, now I've gotten down to the fine layers, you know, and treating them very gently to see what's going to appear underneath. Because, you know, I couldn't have gotten this any other way. So remember the process, and that the process is very important. You know, you're mining fine gems here. Okay. I'm really liking areas of this. I mean, really liking areas of this. Like in here, I just love that. And right in here, these areas, you know, are beautiful. I don't really want to pick that up. Okay. All right, I have my layers and layers and layers of things that have been built up on this board. I have some layers that I love that I want to preserve. I want to keep this in here, definitely. I want to keep this area right here, definitely. I like this up here where these textures are coming through. But I think I need some more layers. So let's see what I'm gonna do next. Well, I'm just playing now. You know, if you get to this part and you love it, that's great. You're done. But now I'm gonna play a little bit, and I have my napkins. Which ooh, look at that. Oh yeah. Now see, this is what happens when you are open to just playing. One thing leads to another, which leads to another. And it's okay to change your mind when you're, you know, when you're playing like this. It's okay to change your mind anytime. Okay. Now, look at the juxtaposition of this flower against this background. That, to me, is beautiful. I absolutely love that. And it came out of a catalog. It didn't come out of a magazine. Let's see what else I can find. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, I think that I'm ready to stop working on this for now. And I'm gonna let it totally dry. And then I'm gonna sit with it for a while and see what else I need to do to it. I'm really, really liking this. The background, you know, this peeling, it's falling apart. It's torn. We echoed that in the way we tore our paper to put it down on this canvas. And then we were able to juxtapose these cleaner, crisper images, especially these graphic pieces, onto this, pick up the colors, and I think that the pink is just a perfect color for this particular background. I think I need to do a little bit with the edges here, and I'm not really sure what that's going to be. I'm going to have to work with that a little bit. But right up here in this corner, I have just a little bit of that gold shining through from that envelope, and it just is the perfect shadow over here on this side. And I'm wondering if I can create some more of that. I don't know that I can, but I really like that piece. I still love this circle and all the layers and layers and layers in this circle. And this area over here, you can just see how many times these pieces were ripped off and glued on top of and ripped off. So that history is captured in this piece. So like I said, I'm going to call this finished for now. I know I still have some work to do on it. And if you can follow the steps and get to this point, I'm sure you'll be really, really happy. If you can follow the steps and get to the point before I even glued down any of the more graphic elements, I think you'll be pleased with what you have. But for now, I'm going to call this this piece finished. And I hope you enjoyed it. It's a different way for me to play. And, you know, I wasn't inhibited at all because all I was using was trash. So I felt free to just get in here and tear and rip and paint and draw and do some graffiti and splat ink on it and everything. And, you know, what I created, I really like, and it's very different from anything that I usually do. But again, I had those little synchronicities, like these pieces kind of falling together, this rose fitting perfectly in this area. So it was definitely talking to me and, you know, and guiding me along. And when I picked this up, there were pieces of this down in the layers of the collage, and then to bring it back up to the front was just great. Anyway, the more I look at this, the more I like it. And again, I couldn't have gotten this far without doing the process of decollage. And I'm going to play with this some more. I think I have 4 more of these canvas boards that I'm going to play with some more. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you're having a great day or evening, whichever the case may be. Again, I'm so happy I work in the chaos that I work in, because I have all these things right around me. I have some paints, and I have some stains, and I have some dyes, and I have glues and crayons and scraps, and it just for me works. And allows me to, or gives me permission to just play and enjoy myself, which I totally did. So many blessings to you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.